as you wake up.
Heartbreak for an Olathe family. A 10-year-old killed while riding a 17-story water slide at Schlitterbahn. This morning, that water park is closed. We are live with the latest.
Day 3 of the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro kicks off today. We're live in Rio this morning with a look at yesterday's highlights, and we're taking a closer look at some of the athletes at the Games and their incredible journeys.
And some of us are waking up to a rainy start this morning. Let you know who's seeing rain, how long it's going to stick around, plus how warm our temperatures are going to be this week. All of that's coming up.
This is KMBC 9 First News on KCWE.
It's 7 a.m. on your Monday. We're so thankful you're starting it with us. I'm Rob Hughes.
And I'm Emily Welsh. Grab the coffee. Let's get this week going. First Alert Meteorologist Neville Miller here with some rain for our wake up this morning.
Yeah, some of us are seeing rain. Just about all of us are seeing clouds. And the good news is with that, it's going to keep our temperatures cool. So if you liked yesterday's cloudy, cool weather, kind of, dare I say, fall-like.
Nice.
It felt great.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to get kind of another taste of that for today, and then we'll start warming things up. So enjoy it while we have it, because changes are on the way. It's still summertime. Let me show you what's going on First Alert radar right now, so you can get an idea of if you're seeing rain or not, or if it's close to your area. Here's a 435 loop, and we're really not seeing much in the way of rain for most of the metro. That being said, if you live near Olathe, that's where we do have some light to moderate showers there, right along I-35, along 169 as well. Heading towards Gardner, we do have some light showers, really nothing too heavy there. Now, the farther south you go along 69 Highway and 169 towards Paola, Lacine, Mound City, Garnett, Ottawa, that's where we're seeing more of the moderate to even heavier rain at times. Along 49 as well, I'd say from Harrisonville down towards Butler, Appleton City, Garden City near Clinton, we've got more of that rain as well. But I-70 and to the north of I-70, things are relatively dry, and those rain chances are going to stay primarily along south of I-70 heading through the morning. Current temperatures, we've got near 70 degrees for most of us, 70 in Kansas City, 70 in Lawrence, also 70 degrees in Belton, lower 70s for Paola, Butler, Clinton, and Sedalia, and upper 60s as you head out the door in Trenton this morning. Your forecast for today, best rain chances between now and about 10 a.m. 70 degrees, so holding pretty steady over the next couple of hours. 75 at lunchtime. There still may be a few isolated showers around midday, but I think most of us will be dry. 5 p.m., a slim 20% chance of an isolated shower. 80 degrees, our afternoon high for today, but there is some heat on the way. I'll have much more on that coming up. Emily.
All right, we'll go now to News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins with a look at your morning commute. Johnny?
And the commute doing well so far. We just don't have anything in the way of any major accidents to report. Certainly not here on the south side, 435 near Mission Road. Had an accident reported 435 at Metcalf. Think it's going to be on Metcalf. Will not affect the highway whatsoever. And as you can see, the road is dry here. We have had some rain showers move through. Very light mist as well, but it does not seem to be affecting 435 this run here past Mission Road. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9. Back over to you.
7:03 now. We continue to follow breaking news this morning out of Kansas City, Kansas. A 10-year-old boy killed while going down the water slide at the Schlitterbahn water park.
Caleb Schwab, the son of a Kansas lawmaker, died while going down the 17-story water slide Verrückt. This morning, that water park is closed. KMBC 9's Brenda Washington is live at the park this morning. Brenda, where does the investigation go today?
Well, right now they're at the beginning stages of the investigation. You're right. The park is closed for the day. There's Verrückt. That's the water slide we're talking about. It is shut down while this investigation continues. And since we have been here, we have seen no activity other than security guards here. Now, the water slide is 17 stories high, taller than Niagara Falls, propelling riders at 50 miles per hour. There's no word on how 10-year-old Caleb Schwab died while on that slide Sunday. But according to Nationwide Children's Hospital in Ohio, thousands of children are hurt on amusement park rides every year, with the most common injuries to the head and neck. Now, spokesperson for Schlitterbahn says before the death of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, there had been no other deaths here at the park. And again, the investigation does continue. And as soon as we get word on where that investigation is going and what details it can release, we'll bring that to you right away. Brenda Washington, KMBC 9 News.
And Schlitterbahn wrote on its Facebook page yesterday, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the family during this difficult time."
Kansas state law requires inspections of amusement rides, but operators don't have to turn those reports over to the state. And there's no money for random state inspections, leaving it up to amusement parks themselves. A Schlitterbahn spokesperson says the rides are inspected every day and by an outside party before the season starts. Meanwhile, on the Missouri side, according to the state's website, the owner must provide documentation to the state.
And that they have to prove that the ride has passed a safety inspection by a state-approved inspector within the last 12 months. Well, more reaction coming from those who knew the Schwab family. The baseball team that Caleb Schwab played for also took to Facebook to express their sorrow in this horrible accident. They say the deepest condolences to Scott and Michelle, Caleb's parents, during this time, and please keep the entire Schwab family in your thoughts and prayers. And we'll have continued coverage this morning on First News as the investigation continues into just what happened there at Schlitterbahn. And as new information becomes available, we'll bring it to you right here and on KMBC.com and our KMBC 9 mobile app all day.
7:05 now. A Platte County official facing charges accusing him of using a county credit card to fund the construction of a beer garden at his home. 54-year-old Kenneth Bosenhart was charged Saturday with 1 count of felony stealing. The Platte County prosecutors saying Bosenhart's accused of using the county credit card and business account to buy lumber and other items to build his home beer garden. No word on exactly how much county money Bosenhart is accused of using for the items.
All right, 7:06 now. We'll go back to Johnny Rollins with a look at that Monday morning drive. Johnny?
Drive doing well so far, although we have had those rain showers on the far south side. We do have an accident reported northbound I-49 near 163rd Street, coming in from the far south side from the Belton Grandview area. Actually, Raymore Peculiar, a little bit further south as well, could be affected. Not looking bad here, though. Inbound I-70 has yet to load up over there by Noland Road. We'll see the backup from the very busy on-ramp from there begin to develop anytime. Should make it back to Lee Summit Road in the next little bit right here, and on the way back to 291 as well. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back over to you.
Hundreds of thousands of travelers today on standby after all Delta flights are grounded because of a computer outage.
Yeah, we've been watching this unfold all morning long. KMBC 9's Matt Evans is live right now at KCI. Matt, we know the kiosks are working there now, but still a major holdup for travelers.
Good morning. Some Delta passengers actually telling me earlier this morning they need to call Johnny Rollins to get News Chopper 9 up in the air so they can get to their destinations. But it looks like the lines, at least, are getting a lot shorter at the Delta counter here at Kansas City International Airport, and I think they are throughout most of the country as well. It looks like the kiosks, at least, are back up here, so that is a good sign. As far as we can tell, the flights are still grounded here at Kansas City International. We've seen some reports of Delta passengers beginning to board planes at other airports across the country, so there's still a lot of confusion behind what's going on right now. If you are flying Delta today, expect delays no matter what time you're flying out. Also, this is something that Delta's been working on for the past several hours. They had a power outage at their headquarters in Atlanta in the overnight hours that shut down their entire system, so they've been dealing with this big system outage all morning long, delaying hundreds of thousands of people across the world. Flights were grounded for a couple of hours pretty much across the nation. So we're for Delta passengers, that is. So we're still on the tail end of this, but it looks like things are at least getting better. The lines are getting shorter. People are moving a lot quicker now at Kansas City International. Reporting live this morning, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
7:08 now. In your Commitment 2016 coverage, Donald Trump trying to claw back into the presidential race this morning. New polls show him losing ground to Hillary Clinton after a series of damaging headlines. He's taking a more refined approach now as his opponent gears up with a key address. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in Washington with the latest.
Donald Trump refocuses today with a policy speech at the Detroit Economic Club that he says will help Americans. He's also endorsing Speaker Paul Ryan and John McCain for re-election, something he refused to do last week. And some holdouts within the GOP are coming around. George P. Bush, the Texas land commissioner and son of Jeb Bush, who refused to support him, says it's time to put the party first. As the GOP scrambles to unite, Clinton continues to make gains. An ABC News Washington Post poll shows the former First Lady extending her lead. Adding to his trouble, comments made about Vladimir Putin. Former acting CIA Director Mike Morell on This Week, saying the billionaire has already been manipulated by the Russian president.
From Mr. Trump's perspective, right, he simply heard Putin compliment him. He then responded by complimenting him. He never thought that he might be being played.
Yet trustworthiness remains a problem for both nominees. Clinton's running mate says their administration would be more transparent.
The bottom line is this. She made a mistake, and she said over and over again, I made a mistake, and I've learned from it, and I'm going to fix it, and I apologize for it.
Maggie Rulli reporting there. On the other side of the aisle, Hillary Clinton isn't taking her lead for granted. In an email to supporters, she says Trump might be able to win if he spins enough to convince voters. And like Trump, she'll also be giving a speech on the economy this Thursday in Detroit.
Happening today, U.S. Senator Pat Roberts of Kansas will be in the metro area. He'll be making several stops, and this morning he'll be at the Children's Campus of Kansas City to read to pre-K students. Then he'll be heading to the KC Startup Village. That's a community helping to grow and support entrepreneurs in Kansas City. That tour starts at 2. Well, researchers say that they are not finding evidence that mosquitoes are carrying the Zika virus in Missouri. Missouri State University has trapped more than 10,000 mosquitoes over the past 7 weeks to study them, and they still haven't found one with the Zika virus. There are 10 confirmed Zika cases in Missouri and 8 in Kansas. In all of those cases, people contracted the virus while they traveled outside the country.
Budget cuts in Kansas are taking a toll on mental health services. It could result in 200 layoffs statewide in mental health centers. Many of those positions help families in crisis manage day-to-day care. Advocates warn the fallout from this could mean more hospital admissions, emergency room visits, and interactions with law enforcement. Still to come on First News, they're being called the unsung heroes of the Olympics. Our team in Rio on the ground with a look at the people who really make the Olympic Games go.
Plus, we take a look at one Team USA fencer breaking ground, how she hopes to inspire other minorities aiming for Olympic glory. Already plenty of excitement and drama as we begin day 3 of the 2016 Rio Olympic Games. And this morning, we're taking a closer look at the athletes representing Team USA. Ibtihaj Muhammad is making history this year. She's the first Olympic Muslim athlete to compete wearing a hijab. The 30-year-old fencer says she hopes she can inspire future generations.
When I heard that there had never been a Muslim woman on the U.S. team who wore the hijab, that is when I made this conscious decision to go for 2016. I knew that I had it in me to qualify for an Olympic team, and I wanted to hopefully be that change that other minorities could see that, you know, with hard work and perseverance, anything's possible.
And Muhammad says that the fencing is the perfect sport for her, allowing her to not expose herself and still be an athlete.
What's so cool about the sport is that it, you know, is just uniquely accommodating to the tenets of my faith. I'm covered, but I'm also, you know, pursuing my desire to be involved in sport.
And Muhammad, her 4 siblings, and her parents are all there in Rio for the Games right now. Best of luck to her. And more than 500,000 fans are expected to attend the Rio Games, and more than 10,000 athletes are participating. But the Games couldn't go on without tens of thousands of people working for free. KMBC 9's Travers Mackel is live in Rio right now. Travers, volunteers are a hugely critical part of the Games.
Critical to say the least, Emily. Now, Rio spent billions of dollars getting ready for the Olympics, and they waited years to showcase this city. But as you just said, without the thousands upon thousands of volunteers on the ground right now, none of this would be possible.
Right there.
From pointing people to proper places, to making sure the headliners can be heard.
Good afternoon.
To just serving as a good host. 50,000 volunteers, all easily identifiable in their bright yellow shirts and fancy green sneakers, are staged at every venue at the Games. Many feel they're the unsung and unpaid stars of the Rio Olympics.
And then we've got Fandango.
That includes American Samantha Medney.
It's been a dream of mine to be a part of the Rio 2016 Olympics, and being able to volunteer helped me be a part of the team.
She's working the media rooms.
4, 5, 6. So I help out with big press conferences. Do you have a question?
And while the work calls for early mornings and late nights with no salary.
This awesome watch, this really is the gem of our volunteer outfit. We're still getting rewarded in other ways. We get to, you know, be a part of the experience, and I think the Olympics are something unlike anything else in the world.
And Olympic officials recognize those efforts.
The people who are working for Rio 2016, whether it's staff or volunteers, are making, you know, everybody feel good.
And hearing that makes Medney feel good.
Oi, tudo bem? It's nice to know that you're needed and you're appreciated.
And Emily, in that story, you heard Samantha say obrigado. What that means in Portuguese is thank you.
All right, and Travers, we saw one American volunteer there, but where do all these tens of thousands of volunteers come from?
Well, they have lots of American volunteers besides Samantha, who you saw in that story, but they come from basically all over: Germany, Russia, France. If you can name the country, they basically have a volunteer here, and a lot of them paid their own ways. The Olympics are trying to give them breaks on hotel rooms. Some are even staying where we're staying at the Media Village. Emily?
All right, great work done there. All right, thank you, Travis Mackel there in Rio. And keep it here on KCWE as we continue to bring you complete coverage of the Olympic Games in Rio. First Alert meteorologist Neville Miller here, and you're saying that the conditions in Rio right now actually aren't that different from what we're seeing here in the metro.
Yeah, pretty similar. They've got low 70s, some clouds down in Rio right now. We're near 70 degrees, a lot of clouds, rain for some of us. So even though it's middle of a winter down there for them, they're actually a little bit warmer than we are. Let's go and take a live look at Rio, Copacabana Beach. You see it there. They got the clouds, 73 degrees for all the Olympic athletes down there in Brazil. South wind at 6 miles an hour for us. There's a look on our Capital Federal City View cam, a look over downtown. You can see we also have a gray start to our day. We're, for the most part, mainly dry in the metro. There is some rain that I'm keeping an eye on. It's primarily across southern portions of our viewing area. So as you go south of the metro, they're especially down 69 and 169 highway towards Garnett, Mountain City, Ottawa, Lewisburg, towards Harrisonville. Butler also getting in on this rain, trying to make its way towards Clinton and Warrensburg. The timeline for it between now and 10 a.m., 40% chance of showers. Temperatures upper 60s to low 70s. So it's kind of like yesterday. We're not going to see a lot of movement with our temperatures here heading through the next several hours. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Notice how the rain chances start to come down a little bit. Temperatures will go up a little, lower to middle 70s heading towards the middle of our day. And then as we continue on through the afternoon, rain chance, about 20% chance. Could see an isolated shower or storm, and temperatures are going to go from the middle 70s to upwards to near 80 degrees. So very similar to yesterday's weather, maybe just a couple of degrees warmer this afternoon. Here's how future scan looks as we go through the next couple of hours. You see how that moisture stays primarily along and south of I-70. That's a look at 9 a.m. Now we're going to head towards lunchtime. There still may be a few showers trying to hang on. Again, still going to be along and south of I-70. Heading from noon towards 3 p.m., scattered showers, maybe a few rumbles possible, about a 20 to 30% chance. And then later in the day that we go, we'll see these shower chances gradually diminishing. You see how the clouds kind of hang tough for today. So it will be a rather gray day, some peaks of sunshine here and there, but I think we'll see more clouds than sun heading through the afternoon. Your hourly forecast, so how's it all going to play out? We'll go from the upper 60s and low 70s right now to about 75 degrees at lunchtime, upper 70s to low 80s this afternoon, and east breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Plenty of clouds through the morning. Rain chances mainly south of the metro over the next several hours, and as I mentioned, about a 20 to 30% chance heading into the afternoon. But again, I think that we're going to see really more clouds than anything for much of the metro area, and the rain staying primarily just off to the south. Forecast highs for today. These temperatures are about 8 to 10 degrees below average. Near 80 degrees in Kansas City, 82 are high in Belton, Paola, Butler, Lawrence, a high today right around 83 degrees, 82 in St. Joseph. Around the metro, those highs will be topping out pretty close to upper 70s to lower 80s for today. Around the region, so we've got highs near 80 for us today around Kansas City. Farther towards the west, out across western central parts of Kansas, more middle, upper 80s. That's where heat's going to be building over the next several days. Heading into Tuesday, you see how we do warm things up. We're talking about upper 80s tomorrow for us, but we've got more 90s building across Kansas and Nebraska. That heat will finally start to nudge its way on in as we head into Wednesday. As you see our temperatures get back into the lower 90s, middle to even upper 90s for much of Kansas. I don't think we'll be quite that hot, but lower 90s on Wednesday. With the humidity, heat index levels, well, they may be up near 100 to 105. So keep that in mind for your outdoor plans on Wednesday. Also into Thursday, we'll have more of that heat as well. High temperatures in the low 90s once again. Lows only cooling back into the middle 70s. We'll see a cool front move in Friday and a Saturday. That'll bring us another chance of showers and thunderstorms. Also, some cooler temperatures, upper 80s on Friday. Then check out Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the Chiefs in action on Saturday. We'll have a chance of thunderstorms and highs in the mid 80s. Metro area, but as you go down I-35 there, lately you might have some light rain. As you can see, a little bit of green showing up on radar, but really it's going to be heading down 69 Highway 169 there on the Kansas side, Paola, Lacine, Mountain City. Then on the Missouri side from Harrisonville down towards Butler along 49, we've got some areas of moderate rain falling. None of this is severe, just rain here to make the roads wet this morning. Keep that in mind if you're going to be heading out and you're heading south of the metro over the next couple of hours. Your forecast for today, lots of clouds. Look for temperatures hanging out near 70 this morning, middle 70s at lunchtime, near 80 this afternoon. Rob.
A 10-year-old killed while spending the day with his family at a water park. We've been following this story all morning, the very latest, coming up in the next half hour of First News on KCWE.
Westbound 435 to westbound K10, couple of vehicles involved. Take a look, the road is wet there. We've talked about those light rain showers moving through on the south side. That's exactly what we have here. So this the ramp from westbound 435 to westbound K10. Initially not much of a backup through here, but now it looks like it's all the way back to Lackman, kind of easing back onto 435 near I-35, but still only about a 5-minute delay through here. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back over to you.
Rain showers moving into the metro. Our first alert meteorologist Neville Miller tells us when we can expect to see dry conditions and hot temperatures return. Plus, we have live pictures out of KCI Airport where Delta flights are grounded because of a computer outage. What you can expect if you're traveling today, our Matt Evans is live. To get you moving on a Monday at 7:30 a.m. here. These are live pictures out of Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Of course, where day 3 of the Olympic Games is getting underway. The U.S. is leading in the medal count, so we have lots of Olympic coverage to get to this morning on KCWE. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. So glad you're waking up with us. I'm Emily Welsh.
And I'm Rob Hughes. First alert meteorologist Neville Miller. Hey, he's got some moves. I wish you could have seen him a second ago. He's also got a nice day on tap.
You know, it's not going to be a bad day, at least as far as the heat goes. It's going to be a little bit cooler. We're looking at highs today, closer to 80 degrees, so pretty similar to the highs we had yesterday. Also, got some clouds and some of us waking up to rain this morning. Looking at first alert radar, yeah, not a whole lot to see here around the metro, but near Olathe still may have some sprinkles. You see a little bit of green showing up right along I-35 from Lenexa southward to Olathe this morning. Some light rain in those locations. Otherwise, a little bit farther south down 69 and 169 through Paola, Garnett, Kincaid, Mound City, Lacine, Lewisburg over towards Butler and Clinton on the Missouri side and Appleton City. These are spots picking up more of that moderate rain right now, but even this, that's going to continue tracking toward the east, a little more scattered farther to the north, closer towards Warrensburg. The rest of the area, if you live north of I-70, looking mainly dry this morning heading into the afternoon. Our temperatures, we're near 70 degrees right now in Kansas City, 70 in Belton, 70 degrees also for Lawrence, 70 in St. Joseph, 72 for Marshall and Sedalia. Your forecast for today, again, with those clouds overhead, we're not going to see much of a nudge in our temperatures. 70 degrees at 9 o'clock with that 40% chance of showers. Rain chances will be going down heading towards lunchtime and through the afternoon. 75 or midday reading, about 80 at 3 o'clock today. So if you like cool temperatures, today looks great. If you want some heat, also in the extended forecast, I'll have much more on that coming up. Back to you.
All right, let's check in with News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins. Johnny, how's the commute look this Monday?
Well, we had to deal with some light rain showers on the south side. Nothing heavy, but enough to probably complicate things a little bit as you are making your way westbound on 435. The reason you see the slow stuff in the foreground there is going to be the off-ramp westbound 435 to westbound K10. That is where we have a little fender bender, but it takes that ramp from 2 lanes down to 1 lane and the associated backup, of course. Only about a 5-minute delay through here. Has not yet made it back onto 435 and to I-35. That could be a completely different story. Again, this is opposing the inbound. That westbound run over to Lawrence this time in the morning. Typically, it's coming from Lawrence and points west where we see the heavier traffic. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back over to you.
Breaking news now at 7:32. A sprint car driver died from injuries he suffered in a race here in Kansas. Brian Clausen was airlifted from Belleville, Kansas to Lincoln, Nebraska after his car flipped off the guardrail. It rolled several times before it was hit by another car. Clausen is one of the nation's top short track dirt car drivers with 4 national championships. Clausen was 27 years old. Well, an unimaginable ending to a day at a water park. A 10-year-old boy from Olathe, Kansas dies on a ride at Schlitterbahn in Kansas City, Kansas.
Caleb Schwab, he died while riding Verrückt, the tallest water slide in the world. A Schlitterbahn representative told us after the accident that guest safety is a priority and they're waiting to figure out what happened. So the big question this morning is what is next for the park? KMBC 9's Brenda Washington is there live. Brenda.
Well, I can show you right now that the park does remain closed. It closed right after the accident on Sunday and will remain closed today. Schlitterbahn park officials, they're working with the police to figure out exactly what happened. How did 10-year-old Caleb Schwab die riding Verrückt, a 168-foot tall water slide? Now, again, the park is closed. The ride itself, it will remain closed indefinitely. Now, the water slide as I mentioned, will remain shut down indefinitely, but Sunday was Elected Officials Day here at the park for lawmakers and their families. Now, what was supposed to be a joyful time turned tragic with the death of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab. A spokesperson for Schlitterbahn says a full investigation is underway to get to the bottom of what happened on Sunday. Now, the only movement we have seen since we have been here since after 4 o'clock this morning have been security guards riding around. We've not seen any people that we believe to be inspectors looking at the ride yet. That may happen later today. But as soon as we get any information about what the cause of yesterday's deadly accident was, we will bring that information to you. Brenda, Washington, KMBC 9 News.
The Schwab family sending out this statement Sunday night, saying in part, since the day he was born, he brought abundant joy to our family and all those he came in contact with.
Now, Verrückt opened back in 2014, but it was delayed several times because of safety concerns during test runs. Those tests, as you can see there, sent rafts filled with sandbag dummies flying into the air. It was all documented on the Travel Channel show Extreme Water Parks. Developers redesigned the ride, and it ran for 2 years without any major problems. We will have continued coverage this morning on First News as the investigation continues, and as new information becomes available, we'll bring it to you right here and on KMBC.com and the KMBC 9 mobile app.
7:35 now. Road work expected to begin this morning starting at 6:30 in Clay County. 169 highway at Route W will be reduced to 1 lane until 7:30 tonight. The reduction will happen daily until September 1st for intersection improvement work. Crews will add a northbound right turn lane and a southbound left turn lane. There also will be workers to direct you in the traffic zone. It is 7:35. Let's check in with News Chopper 9's Johnny Rollins. Johnny, how's it look?
It looks pretty good right now. We've had some light rain around town, but not enough for it really to make much of a difference in your drive into work, and certainly not from the Northland. Southbound I-35. This is just the regular heavy traffic we have from the Northland. Last week we talked about squeezing some vacation time in before the school starts in some of the school districts, and this week maybe not so much because we did not see this heavy traffic at all last week. Southbound on I-35 down to the Bond Bridge. This from Levee Road into the northeast corner of the loop. Unfortunately, now back to the usual grind. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9. Back over to you.
Well, right now at airports across the country, travelers stranded with hundreds of Delta flights grounded due to a system-wide computer outage. KMBC 9's Matt Evans is live at KCI, where we have been watching lines there grow all morning. Matt.
Good morning. The good news is the systems are coming back online for Delta Airlines this morning, but still expect a lot of delays and cancellations if you're flying on Delta today. This is gate 59, B59 here at KCI, and this was the first Delta flight scheduled out of KCI, scheduled to depart for Salt Lake City at 5:45 this morning. Well, all of the passengers still sitting right here at this gate. What happened was in overnight hours, there was a power outage in Atlanta that affected the Delta headquarters there, which caused a big system-wide computer outage pretty much across every single Delta system across the world. So all the Delta flights were grounded earlier this morning, but now we are seeing that at least at other airports, folks are getting on their planes, boarding their planes. Planes are starting to take off, so we are slowly but surely working our way out of this mess. But nonetheless, this is not a great way to start your Monday if you're a Delta passenger or if you're Delta Airlines. So this is going to cause a lot of issues, not only this morning, but also this afternoon. So if you are flying Delta, make sure you check your flights, make sure you know what you're going to get yourself into when you head to the airport later on today. Reporting live this morning, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
A new round of protests in Chicago. People wanting change following the release of videos showing the moments before and after a deadly police shooting. What was seen on those 9 videos causing Chicago's police superintendent to strip 3 officers of their duties. Chicago's mayor praising that action, but activists are saying that is not enough. ABC's Will Jones tracked those protests overnight.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives what? Black Lives Matter!
Chanting for justice for Paul O'Neill, coming just 2 days after the release of videos capturing the moments before and after the 18-year-old was shot and killed by Chicago police last month.
We knew they killed him before that, but seeing the videos and seeing how they acted with each other just made it seem like our lives don't matter.
Hey! Hey!
Prompting Black Lives Matter Shy Youth to organize this rally in Millennium Park before marching downtown.
We're not gonna sit back and let this happen. We're gonna, every time something happens like this, we're gonna show our frustrations and our anger.
And if we want to see change in our lifetime, we have to put out the effort.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel shared his thoughts for the first time about the videos.
Anytime there's a loss of life, it's a tragedy. I support what the superintendent, the actions the superintendent took, both the immediacy of those actions, but also making the video public.
Fueling this movement for change at CPD and at police departments across the country.
I think that the only way to shut down the violence is with peace, like how we're doing it.
I stood on the sidelines for a long time, and I don't want to feel like I'm a part of the problem anymore.
And those officers were stripped of their duties and assigned desk jobs pending an internal investigation.
Well, internal affairs investigators in the Baltimore Police Department often don't find officers who have used excessive force. The Baltimore Sun analyzed more than 3 years worth of data, and their report found internal affairs investigations usually end without proving or disproving an officer's misconduct. Baltimore's police commissioner says the department is overhauling internal affairs and improving that system.
New details this morning into last month's suicide bombing outside a German bar. Authorities are revealing the Syrian man who blew himself up was in contact with a member of ISIS. The two used a social networking app and Saudi phone line to communicate with each other. The attack injured 15 people. The Saudi government is investigating along with German authorities.
New this morning, an American and Australian have been abducted in Afghanistan. According to an Afghan security official, the two were abducted by 5 gunmen in military uniforms on a main road near the American University of Afghanistan. The two are believed to be employees of that university. We'll have updates as we get them here on First News this morning.
The U.S. Navy making its first visit to China since Beijing responded angrily to an arbitration panel's ruling that its expansive South China Sea maritime claims had no basis in law. Visits aim to build relationships with the Chinese Navy, according to Navy officials.
Well, using the streetcar is getting easier.
The new tool that could help you get to your destination faster and where you can get it.
And a big game that didn't happen. Why the NFL Hall of Fame game had to be canceled and the hefty cost to the league.
A 10-year-old North Carolina boy dedicating his life to a noble cause. How he's been helping children in need that will move you to help.
151st Street. You can see to the left all the activity there. I believe that ramp is still open. Yeah, we see people still using the ramp there. And the slowdown you see to the right really doesn't have anything to do with this accident. That is that construction we have at 151st where they take you down to one lane. That today all the way back to Lone Elm, a little bit further than we would normally see. I think it's because, as you can see, the road is wet there. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back over to you.
Well, if you're one of the tens of thousands of people who use the streetcar to get around downtown, there is a brand new app that's making it even easier for you.
It is the KC Streetcar app 2.0. You can find real-time streetcar locations. There's a discovery button to find recommendations on the best places to eat, shop, and drink around Kansas City. And you can get recommendations close to a specific streetcar stop. Yesterday was billed as the first Sunday until February football, but that didn't happen, Emma.
No, the NFL Hall of Fame game was sidelined because the field wasn't ready. It was actually deemed unsafe to play on, so that game was canceled. And while fans may have been upset by that call, players realized that safety is extremely important.
But I understand that someone had to make a very tough decision, and I respect that. But I know I'm disappointed. I wanted to get back on the field, obviously, with what happened last year. This is one of those first steps back. Disappointed for the fans. We saw a bunch of Wisconsin license plates, Indiana license plates driving through here. So we understand how hard people work to get to a football game.
The cancellation does come with a cost. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting it'll cost the Hall of Fame an estimated $4 million. But the Hall of Fame president still says it was an easy and ethical decision not to play that game. The Chiefs will be playing on the first weekend of the preseason. Now they take on the Seattle Seahawks at Arrowhead Stadium this Saturday. It is starting, but the team still has some work to do to get ready for that game. They're hitting it hard at training camp in St. Joe today. Practice starts at 9:15 with an autograph session with the defensive backs later on today. And if you do head up to St. Joe today, you can get 20% off on all sale merchandise to get geared up for game day.
If you're looking forward to cheering on the Chiefs at Arrowhead this year, experts say you should check the secondary market. The Chiefs have the lowest average ticket price on sites like StubHub, SeatGeek, and Tickets for Less. That's according to data from Vivid Seats. The average price for Chiefs tickets on the secondary market is $91 a seat. Let's put that in perspective. For the most expensive team, the Seattle Seahawks, he will pay an average of $398 a ticket. Definitely pays to be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, that's for sure. If you live in Jackson County, you can get in the seats for a special game at Arrowhead this year.
It is the annual Fall Classic between Northwest Missouri State and the University of Central Missouri. Jackson County residents can get pre-sale tickets at 10 this morning. Now, Chiefs season ticket holders actually get first priority. General public can buy on Wednesday. That game's coming up October 1st. And today, you can see teenagers participating in the first annual 5th District KC Slam on the Vine competition. It will take place at the Blue Room on 18th and Vine. Poetry Slam starts at 6 p.m. The winner will be flown to Washington, D.C. to showcase their talents.
Well, the creator and star of the hit Broadway show Hamilton is off the stage right now, but he is popping up somewhere else.
Over the weekend, he was given the keys to Disney's Instagram account.
No one fights like Gaston, douses lights like Gaston.
In a wrestling match, nobody bites like Gaston.
As a specimen, yes, he's intimidating. Oh my God, that is The Rock.
Gaston.
Yeah, that's Lin-Manuel Miranda singing about Gaston with The Rock, making a guest appearance, even doing a little singing himself there. Now, Miranda also sang Disney classics from Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and others. Glad to see he's keeping busy. He'll be starring in Mary Poppins pretty soon.
Looks like they're chilling on the beach somewhere.
Yeah. Well, a 10-year-old from North Carolina is making a difference for other children.
Gunnar Robinson has been collecting shoes for children who need them for the past 3 years. He's already given nearly 600 pairs of shoes to kids in the community with his organization, Gunnar's Runners. His parents say that something that started as just a small idea has caught on around their community.
Now it's an annual event and everybody's so willing to help and, you know, wanting to know, hey, where can we drop the shoes off this year?
It makes me feel better for the other kids because they're getting new shoes for the new school year.
Once all the shoes are collected, the family will give them to a social worker to distribute to kids just in time to start the school year.
7:48 now. First Alert Meteorologist Neville Miller here with a cooler day today, but I know that's not going to last too long.
Still August.
Yeah.
So you know it's going to heat back up, but you know, we had kind of a cool weekend. It's upper 70s yesterday.
Yeah, it was. It makes you start thinking about fall, getting those sweaters out, getting the boots on.
Right,
yeah.
we're getting there, you know, about a month and a half away from fall. We have another, I guess, fall-ish day with the clouds, temperatures below average, and then we're going to start to heat things back up. So again, don't get used to the cooler weather. Enjoy it while we have it. Also, some of us getting some rain this morning, and I know some areas need the rain, especially some of the spots getting the rain. So southern communities on the Kansas and the Missouri side getting some needed showers this morning. Rain chances are on their way down, though, and they're going to continue to go down as we head into the afternoon. There's a live look in our Capitol Federal City View cam. We're looking at the city, and it is a great-looking start to our day, but those clouds, they're going to help keep us cool today. Currently, we're at 70 degrees, an east-northeast wind at 9 miles an hour. No rain officially at KCI, visibility at 10 miles, so no issues there. Clouds on radar around the metro. We're not seeing any rain, just a lot of cloud cover, but the rain, you have to go a little bit farther to the south. Heading south on 169 towards Paola, Garnett, getting in on some of these showers, also near Kincaid, Lacine, and Mound City. Fulton right along 69 highway there. Over on the Missouri side, much of the same as you head south of the metro. So south of Harrisonville down towards Butler along I-49, Appleton City. Now just south of Clinton, that's where we're seeing some of those showers. And then a little bit farther north, closer to 50 highway. So near Warrensburg, just off to the south of Concordia there, along I-70 towards Marshall and Sedalia along 65 highway. Just some spotty showers. So if you do live in some of our eastern communities, you might get a brief downpour or break, then maybe another area of rain that rolls through. And really, that's the main show that we're seeing right now. Again, along and south of I-70, that's the rain chances primarily stay here through the morning. You see the rain basically tracking from west to east and falling apart rather quickly. But with a little disturbance hanging out in our atmosphere, we'll see our best rain chances this morning and then possibly some additional isolated showers later on this afternoon. Here's a look at 9 a.m. You still see we have some of those scattered showers hanging around. Lunchtime, we're for the most part dry, but still with that little disturbance hanging around, I can't rule out a few spotty showers. Notice I-70 into the south will be the best locations of seeing a few of these showers. Heading towards 3 p.m., still can't rule out some of those isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Heading towards 6 o'clock, still about a 20% chance of rain. After that, I think we're looking relatively dry heading into our evening hours. Current temperatures, we're right at 70 in Kansas City, 70 for Belton, Lawrence, St. Joseph also at 70 degrees, Marshall, Sedalia, Clinton, Butler, all in the low 70s along with Paola. Close look at the metro, 70 in Overland Park, 68 degrees for Olathe, Gardner upper 60s, right at 70 for Lee Summit, 69 for Blue Springs and Independence, and we've got 70 degrees currently for Liberty. Your hourly forecast near 70 right now. Heading towards lunchtime, we don't really move a whole lot, and the big reason for that is the clouds. 75 our midday temperature, near 80 degrees this afternoon, an east wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Lots of clouds here at least through the morning, maybe some peaks of sun this afternoon. And those rain chances, they do go down as we head through the day. Best chances are going to be between now and 10 a.m., mainly south of the Kansas City metro. And then for the rest of the day, about a 20% chance of maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm developing. Forecast high temperatures, 80 are high in Kansas City, about 82 in Belton, 83 for Lawrence, St. Joseph, a high temperature right around 82 degrees. For the most part, we'll see our temperatures about 8 to 10 degrees below average for today. Tomorrow will be a little bit warmer, so we're talking about upper 80s. About 88 are high in Kansas City, closer to 90 in Belton, 89 in St. Joseph, 30% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. I think the best chance will be primarily in the morning, but a few could pop up during the afternoon. And then here comes the heat, the 90s making a return on Wednesday. Back in the lower 90s, a south breeze at 10 to 15 miles an hour. More of those 90s heading into Thursday. So Wednesday and Thursday are 2 hottest days of the week with highs in the 90s, lows in the low to mid 70s. Friday and Saturday, that's when our next cool front moves in. It will bring us chances of showers and storms and highs back in the 80s.
This, though, the northbound 69 highway run up to the zipper merge, 119th Street. That's where you're seeing the slowdown here. Back up to the Overland Parkway, Blue Valley Parkway split. That's the Antioch Bridge in the distance there. So this is pretty normal trying to get through that construction at 119th on the bridge there. Johnny Rollins, News Chopper 9, back over to you.
That is a great way to describe it this morning, Johnny. Flirting with rainfall over the southern portions of our viewing area the last several hours, and where we did have moderate to heavy rainfall just a couple of hours ago south of town. Now this rain is winding down very quickly south along I-35 and 49 on the Missouri side of the state line. You can see the majority of this now clearing the 435 loop across Kansas City. I can't rule out with all the cloud cover, a few spits, a few sprinkles, but the bulk of Kansas City looks pretty quiet on those roadways for your morning commute. The rain continuing to kind of lose its intensity and also coverage across the southern third of our viewing area, now winding down for Harrisonville. Still a few light showers near Butler, and these extend south of Clinton on the Missouri side of the state line. With this rainfall and all the cloud cover, temperatures are going to be in the comfortable category, not just this morning, but through this afternoon. We're at 70 degrees right now in downtown Kansas City, lower 70s for Marshall as well. Hour by hour, here's a look at your new day. We'll see those 70s, I think, from now through the bulk of the afternoon hours, with 78 degrees by the lunch hour. A lot of cloud cover for the second half of the day. Chances of rainfall through this afternoon, about a 20% opportunity, with most of us about 10 degrees below normal today. Rob, over to you.
Hundreds of thousands of travelers now waiting to take off after Delta lifts a ground stop on all its flights.
We have live pictures now out of KCI. Our Matt Evans is following this story and will bring you the latest on the delays and how soon travelers can expect to take off.
Good morning, 8 o'clock right now on your Sunday morning. The big weather story of today and really for the foreseeable future is going to be the heat, Neville.
Yeah, it is. You know, so we had a little bit of a break from the heat the last couple of weeks. All the rain that we picked up too kind of helped out, but now the heat is back.
All that rain also helped to make it really, really humid right now.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we evaporate all that moisture in the soil, and then, yes, it becomes very, very humid. And this morning, you can really feel that humidity. It's also warmer right now as well because of that humidity. Prevents the temperature from falling off. Check out some of these readings here. 77 degrees in Kansas City, 78 in Overland Park, 78 in Lee Summit, Smithville, 77 degrees, Leavenworth currently at 76, Lawrence at 78. Look at Ottawa, 81 currently, 79 in St. Joseph, and we're at 80 degrees in Sedalia. So yes, it is already warm outside. First alert radar looking around the immediate metro, the 435 loop, really nothing to see right now. Looking farther to the north, currently dry across northern Missouri and northern Kansas, but you don't have to go very far to get into areas of rain and thunderstorms. And I am watching one storm there close to Creston, Iowa. We'll see if that one crosses over the Iowa-Missouri line. As of right now, more of an issue in southern Iowa. We got some more showers moving across central Kansas, and these really have not been making a whole lot of progress to the east. So still dealing with the rain near Concordia. Some of these will try to make it eastward into northern Kansas and northern Missouri over the next several hours. So weather headlines, we've got rain chances for some, so I'll have more detail on that. Also, we've got a heat advisory for today, so I'll have more on what that means for you and just how long this heat's going to stick around and how hot it's going to be. All of that's coming up. Matt.
Okay, Neville, thanks. Commitment 2016 coverage now. The countdown to Cleveland continues. The Republican National Convention is just one day away as GOP insiders, grassroots activists, and delegates converge on Cleveland, including the man of the hour, Donald Trump. Now that he's officially introduced his running mate, Mike Pence, Hillary Clinton's campaign is launching an attack on both men, calling Trump indecisive Donald. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports from Cleveland.
The first joint event for Donald Trump and running mate Indiana Governor Mike Pence did away with tradition, but finally happened.
So, one of the primary reasons I chose Mike was I looked at Indiana, and I won Indiana big.
Trump taking nearly 30 minutes to introduce Pence, insisting he wasn't hesitating at the idea of Pence as his vice presidential pick.
Indiana Governor Mike Pence was my first choice.
Hillary Clinton's campaign seizing on Trump's apparent indecisiveness with this video.
I'm actually looking at 10 people.
We have it down to 5 people. At 3, potentially 4. But in my own mind, I probably am thinking about 2.
But the Trump camp is moving on, already making changes, expanding their political team and swapping out logos.
Now, I think if you look at one of the big reasons that I chose Mike, and one of the reasons is party unity, I have to be honest.
Unity, a major focus as 50,000 people descend on Cleveland for the Republican National Convention.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos reporting this morning the eyes of the nation turn to Cleveland this weekend, where Republicans will gavel their national convention into order tomorrow to nominate Donald Trump as the party's 29th candidate for president. Our political analyst live this morning, Mark Sandalow, for a preview. Mark, we know the nominee, we know the VP nominee now. Is there really any drama left for the convention?
Not what people were originally talking about, Matt. This was going to be an open convention where delegates were going to be fighting about who the nominee is going to be. That kind of drama doesn't exist. Instead, we're talking about who's showing, who's not showing. Senator Blount, for example, not showing up at the convention as he says he's too busy campaigning. The tension inside the hall will be about whether or not, one, everyone can embrace Donald Trump, because there's certainly a number of people in the Republican Party, some of whom are delegates, who aren't crazy about him. And second, what will happen outside the convention hall. There are going to be protests. That is guaranteed. And the hope is that they don't turn violent, but these could be larger than any convention protest since Chicago 1968, which got very, very bloody.
Well, Mark, this has been a tumultuous couple of weeks, including that coup attempt in Turkey, a terrorist attack in France, police shootings in Dallas. Does everything happening in the world right now help Donald Trump's call for law and order?
It's interesting. That 1968 riot at the Democratic Convention in Chicago was when Richard Nixon was running on the Republican side, and law and order was his big theme. Certainly, Donald Trump is playing on some of the turmoil to say we need stability, we need law and order. Now, of course, there's another side to that. Donald Trump has never served in government office before. He's been a real estate developer and a real estate mogul, and most people don't really think of him as necessarily the most consistent person out there. So the Hillary Clinton folks will say, look, she was Secretary of State. She's got the experience. This is likely to play out as one of the major themes of the campaign.
Certainly will be interesting to watch. 8:05 right now. Mark Sandalow, thank you so much for joining us live in Washington this morning. Well, security will be especially tight for tomorrow's convention. KMBC 9's Nicole Killian is in Cleveland with a look at how security is already tightening.
Good morning from Cleveland. We're here outside Quicken Loans Arena, better known as the Q, which is home to the Republican National Convention over the next couple of days. A lot of excitement building here, especially now that Donald Trump has announced his running mate, Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Of course, security also tight. As you can see, many barricades have already been set up. There are a number of road closures and other travel restrictions now in place. Federal officials not taking anything for granted, even tweaking their plans in light of recent attacks like the one last week in France. Outside of Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, I'm Nicole Killian reporting.
All right, KMBC 9 News will bring you full coverage of both the Republican and Democratic national conventions. Live reports from Cleveland, plus our own Michael Mahoney. He'll break down everything happening. Also, will explain how this convention will pretty much change the campaigns. Then we'll do it all again the following week for the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. Well, 9 can help, and so you did. The YMCA of Greater Kansas City holding a Show You Care, Donate Underwear campaign. It was a big success thanks to people across the metro. Right now we're live inside the Grace and Holy Trinity Cathedral in downtown Kansas City, talking with Jendaya Marsh with the Greater Kansas City YMCA. Jendaya, a lot of pairs of underwear, socks, pajamas donated to the YMCA. How big of a help is this for youth across the metro?
Actually, it's a really big deal.
we actually got over 7,000 pairs of underwear donated to us, which is great because underwear is actually the most requested item for people in need. So this is actually great. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to be doing later on this morning, Jendaya.
We're going to be having a community kitchen. We're going to be serving the people in need, and they're going to come in and they can get a big breakfast, and then there's also underwear downstairs and any other kind of clothing that they want. So
breakfast
it's
and
really
a new
nice.
pair of underwear. Jendaya Marsh, thank you so much for talking to us live this morning with the Greater Kansas City YMCA. 8:08 right now. Still to come on First News. The political fallout continues after an attempted coup in Turkey. We'll have much more on that situation and what that means for the United States. Plus, police and the community coming together in Grandview yesterday. Why organizers say fostering these kind of relationships is so important.
Nice start to our day. We've had a couple of showers here and there, mainly north of the metro. We've got upper 70s for our temperatures. Clouds trying to increase mainly north of the Missouri River this morning, north of I-70. So your forecast for today, 30% chance of showers. Again, best chances are going to be north of I-70, north of the metro. Our counties on the north, on the Kansas side as well, mainly north of I-70. Keep saying north here, but trying to get that idea across to you that I'm talking about north of the metro. Upper 70s here for the morning. Now looking ahead into the afternoon, we do have that heat advisory. We're going to see more sunshine. We'll have breezy south winds, 10 and 20 miles an hour. That's going to heat us up into the middle 90s for our actual temperatures. The heat index, what it'll actually feel like, more like 100 to 105. That's at a dangerous level. That's what we have the heat advisory for today. And if you have any evening plans, we could see a few more thunderstorms late this evening into tonight. A 20% chance. Once again, that's going to be northern Missouri, northern Kansas. Temperatures near 90 degrees for the early evening, eventually cooling back through the 80s for the late evening hours. Next 3 days, looking at high temperatures this afternoon, right around 95 degrees. Tomorrow, near 95 degrees again. 92 on Tuesday. Storm chances there only 20 to 30%. And again, that's mainly north of the metro. More heat as we head through next week, and I'll have more detail on that coming up after the break.
An ally in the fight against ISIS, reeling this morning from a failed military coup. Hundreds killed as the country's president now vowing that those responsible will pay a heavy price. Complicating matters for the United States, the Turkish president says the main instigator of the plot is a man who lives in the Poconos. ABC's Alex Marquardt is in Turkey with more.
Turkey's president has warned the plotters of the failed coup will pay a heavy price. This morning, almost 6,000 soldiers, judges, and so-called coup supporters have been detained. But Erdogan says this is the man who is behind the attempted coup, Turkish cleric Fethullah Gulen, who lives in rural Pennsylvania. In front of throngs of supporters, Erdogan demanded that the U.S. extradite the self-exiled cleric, the crowds chanting for his death. Gulen, now a U.S. resident, responded from his secluded compound, denying that he had anything to do with the uprising and claimed it may have been staged by the government. The U.S. says it supports Turkey's government, but this call for extradition now puts the U.S. in a tough spot with a crucial ally.
We invite the government of Turkey, as we always do, to present us with any legitimate evidence that withstands scrutiny.
Also a major American concern, the Incirlik Air Base, which the U.S. uses to launch airstrikes on ISIS in neighboring Syria. This morning, it is shut down, the power cut off, and its airspace closed. Turkish authorities saying the coup plotters used the base to refuel the F-16s that buzzed low on Friday night, along with helicopters, as uniformed troops shut down two of Istanbul's main bridges and the airport.
People were so nervous. No one really wanted to act out on either side. Like, everyone was just holding it in, waiting to see what was going to happen.
Erdogan supporters responded to his call to flood the streets, confronting the renegade soldiers, who quickly understood their insurgency was losing momentum. And as day broke, with hands up, they surrendered to the police and angry mobs. Their short-lived attempt to seize power over.
ABC's Alex Marquardt reporting this morning. Breaking news right now out of Kansas City, Kansas. Police say one person shot and killed in the 200 block of North 8th Street. That's just south of downtown Kansas City, Kansas. This happened around 4:30 this morning. Police say when they arrived, they found a Hispanic man in his 20s dead in the front yard from an apparent gunshot wound. So far, they do not have a suspect in custody. If you know anything, call the TIPS hotline 474-TIPS. Kansas City, Missouri police investigating this morning after an early morning shooting. This happened just before 3 near Main and Concord in a neighborhood just south of the plaza. Police on the scene say 3 men were walking when 2 other men approached them and robbed the 3. One man was shot in the leg. He was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. So far, police don't have a suspect in custody. K7 in Olathe back open this morning after a deadly crash shut it down overnight. This happened just before 7:30 on K7 at Harold Street. A motorcycle was trying to make a left-hand turn when it collided with a pickup truck. The motorcycle driver died at the scene. The other driver wasn't hurt. Olathe police say they are still investigating. Grandview police are looking to connect with the community this weekend. Yesterday, community outreach organizers putting together an event in light of what's happened recently with police. That idea to bring police and people together was met with a very strong showing.
For the community to come out like this and show support, not just for the fire department and the police department, but for the community as a whole. And I just think the best way to prevent things from happening is for there to be interaction before bad things happen.
A lot of police officers, firefighters showed up as well, and plenty of people also showed up who just wanted to say thanks. First alert weather, strong winds near the Oklahoma-Arkansas border ripped a roof clean off a building this week. That storm left tens of thousands without power. On top of all those high winds, people also dealing with hail and heavy rain in dozens of counties there. We saw plenty of high winds ourselves this past week or so.
Tuesday
Neville.
and Wednesday.
Yeah, very high winds, a big unsettled weather pattern that was here. But now we're settling in to a hot pattern.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's definitely going to be hot. You know, hottest time of the year when you start moving out of July into August. And
well, we're right there.
And we're right there, and that's exactly what we are going to see. We've got a heat advisory for the metro, really for most areas along and south of I-74 today. That's going to be from 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening. And yes, this includes all of our metro counties. As mentioned, 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening, and that's when we're going to see the hottest temperatures for today. There is a look on our tower cam, our Capitol Federal City View cam, and notice how it shows kind of a hazy atmosphere looking toward downtown. We do have some high clouds, especially the farther north that you live of the metro. We're seeing more of that cloud cover. Currently 77 degrees, a south wind at 13 miles an hour, that dew point of 73. A lot of moisture in the air. When you step outside, you will notice that it's very humid, very sticky to get our day started. 78 in Overland Park, 76 in Olathe, already 81 degrees in Gardner, 78 for Lee Summit, also Blue Springs, 79 Independence, Liberty, Smithville, Leavenworth, all in the upper 70s right now, and that's where most of us currently sit with our temperatures. A few spots in the 80s, 81 in Clinton, Butler also 81 degrees, Ottawa at 81, Lawrence 78, and we've got 79 in St. Joe. First alert radar, really nothing to see around the metro, so we're currently dry. There have been a few very spotty showers that kind of developed and kind of fell apart over the last hour. Stronger thunderstorms off to the north. Severe thunderstorm warning just on the Iowa side of the border, just south of Creston. So I'll keep an eye on that storm. I think that one generally will stay to the north, but possibly could clip maybe Mercer County. So we'll be watching that for you, maybe northern Harrison. For now, though, that storm's still up in Iowa. Some more showers across north central Kansas. That area of rain just has not been making very much progress towards the east, but if it does, we may see some of these showers in Atchison County, also Brown, Doniphan, then right along 36 Highway into northern Missouri. That's where we'll see the best chances of possibly picking up on some of that rain. Here's future scan. So notice as we head through the next several hours, shower chances right along 36. So from St. Joe to Chillicothe to Hiawatha, that's where we'll see those rain chances between now and about 10 or 11 a.m. After that, you're looking at 1 p.m. Notice how we see more of that sunshine. We'll continue with the sunshine heading through the afternoon, and that's going to help our temperatures go up and get into those 90s. Your forecast for today, 81 degrees at 9 a.m. Shower chances mainly for northern Missouri. Lunchtime, 91 degrees, but the feels like temperature of the heat index, 95 to 100 by noon. More like 100 to 105 by 3 p.m. The actual air temperature near 95. 6 o'clock in the evening, still holding in the middle 90s. The heat index level or the feels like temperature, 100 to 105. So if you have outdoor plans for today, make sure you're staying well hydrated. Make sure you're getting those breaks in the AC. Of course, don't forget about the pets too, because these temperatures are hot for them as well. 96 are high in Stillwell, Overland Park, Prairie Village, Shawnee, Lenexa, Olathe, Gardner, DeSoto, Bonner Springs, all Middle 90s for today. Downtown Kansas City, Independence, Raytown, Blue Springs, Lee Summit. Middle 90s, mostly sunny for the afternoon. Hazy sky. 95 in Platte City, Smithville, Parkville, Gladstone, Liberty. Middle 90s for today. And back on the Kansas side, Leavenworth, Tonganoxie, Baser over towards KCK. 95 to upwards of 97 degrees, not out of the question. And you can see that really a majority of the area, middle 90s, just a little bit cooler for St. Joseph over towards Chillicothe, Trenton, and Maryville, where you may have a little extra cloud cover, a few showers that may help keep you in the lower 90s. But for most of us, middle 90s should do it for today. Heat index level, so what it actually feels like on your skin. Look at some of these numbers here. You can see by 3 p.m. around 103 in Kansas City, and then as we continue on towards 6 o'clock in the evening, more of those mid 100s for heat index levels, and that's why we have the heat advisory for today. And the bad news is this heat's really not going anywhere. High pressure camps out right across the plains, right over top of us, and between now, and this is for Saturday, so we're talking 7 days from now, high temperatures 92 to 99 degrees over that stretch. Heat index levels 100 to 110. Let me show you how it looks on the 7-day. 95 degrees are high today, 95 tomorrow. Notice our overnight lows. We only cool back into the middle 70s. Slight chance of showers mainly for northern Missouri over the next several days, and highs in the upper 90s for the rest of the week.
A little bit. A New Hampshire family got a lot more than what they bargained for after a simple trip to the grocery store. They found a live black widow spider in their grapes. Mike Cornyn shows us how all that happened.
It's the stuff of nightmares, a creepy, crawly surprise inside a container of grapes.
Am I in a dream? Is this actually real life?
10-year-old Ella Rydeen loves the fruit, so over the weekend she and her dad picked some up from the market basket in Epping. But when they got home to Fremont, her mom knew something wasn't right.
When I was rinsing them, I noticed some cobwebs.
I knew that there was going to be something wrong because when she screams, there's always something wrong.
Her mom saw what appears to be a red mark on the spider, commonly found on black widows.
That was probably my biggest nightmare, to actually look down into the box and see a black widow sitting there, alive.
That's when Jennifer's husband stepped in to first record the evidence and then save the day.
It's a spider, I'm gonna squish it. So I just threw it down on the ground and stepped on it, and then, you know, the rest is history for that.
They haven't slept well the past couple of nights.
Any little tickle kind of creeps us out.
One of the most venomous spiders in the country, black widows, aren't usually found in the Northeast. A bite can cause health problems and could be deadly for the elderly and small children. The organic grapes came from California. Jennifer says she contacted Market Basket, which apologized.
Offered us a refund and said that they would let produce know so that they could double check, which was really what we wanted.
The Rydeens feel fortunate no one was hurt and now are happy to get rid of the haunting reminder.
I can't wait to get it out of the house.
No fun. I wouldn't be eating grapes for a while either after that one. Well, still to come on First News 9 can help donate. The Show You Care Donate Underwear campaign ended last week. We'll show you just how much your donations will help kids across the metro. Plus, we're learning more about the victims in the terror attack in Nice. How they're being remembered this morning. Time now is 8:27.
KMBC 9 First News.
Welcome back. 8:30 right now on your Sunday morning. Already starting to feel pretty warm outside, Neville.
Yeah, it is. You know, we really didn't cool off very much last night.
That's true.
Only dropping back into the middle to upper 70s, so we don't have to go very far to get into the 80s. And of course, keep doing the math there.
Right, exactly.
90s right around the corner, and that's where we're going to be this afternoon. Back into the 90s. So hopefully you enjoyed that little break from the heat that we had last couple of days, even though yesterday we hit 88 degrees. We're already at 80 in Overland Park, 76 degrees in Olathe. Look at Gardner, 82 degrees. 78 for Lee Summit and Blue Springs. Liberty at 77. Leavenworth, Smithville, both at 77 degrees. Lawrence at 78. We're at 79 for St. Joseph. 80 in Sedalia, 78 degrees currently in Belton. Our sky conditions, well, we've got some high and mid-level clouds that have been drifting in from the west and northwest and pretty much right along I-70. The farther south that you live, you're mostly clear. You're seeing more of that sunshine. Areas to the north, we've had some showers pop up, watching some thunderstorms on the Iowa side of the border. Also, some more rain out across north central Kansas. Not really worried about that being severe, but I am watching that storm there just off to the north and west of Trenton. So we'll see if that storm may cross over the Iowa-Missouri border. Otherwise, for today, slight shower chances here as we go through the next couple of hours, mainly north of the metro. 81 degrees at 9 o'clock. Look at lunchtime, already at 91. breezy, 95 by 5 p.m. The heat index above 100 degrees for today. That south wind hopefully maybe helping you feel a little bit cooler at 10 to 20 miles an hour. But really the heat, that's going to be our main weather headline, not just for today, but really throughout much of the upcoming week. I'll have much more on that coming up. Matt.
Neville, thank you. And 9 can help update the YMCA getting 7,000 pairs of underwear, socks, and pajamas after the Show You Care Donate Underwear campaign. We're live right now inside the Grace and Holy Trinity Cathedral in downtown Kansas City, talking with David Batty of the Greater Kansas City YMCA. David, y'all are giving away a lot of underwear, a lot of socks, and a lot of pajamas today. How much is this going to help people across Kansas City?
Well, you can see behind me there are over 100 people who have come to the church here to receive a great breakfast and also to receive some underwear. And what really is cool about this, Matt, is this was all organized by youth. The youth from the YMCA here in Kansas City, who are part of the Youth Volunteer Corps program, were the ones that had the idea of having this as a service project this morning. And it's been great to be joined by YMCA people from all across the country. So it's really a neat event.
David, how neat is it to see all those people behind you? I can tell it's already getting loud in there. Things are already happening. But also, how neat is it that you've had so many people across Kansas City donate to you guys? The goal was 3,000 pairs of underwear. You got 7,000 pairs.
Right.
That means people really showing that they care.
Yes. Well, not only, I mean, it's great. Kansas City really does care, and people had to donate from all over the Kansas City area. It was kind of a unique project. We've never done anything like this before. It's not something new for the YMCA to do, so it's been great to have the youth kind of head this up and be able to involve people from all over the country to see our great city, including seeing some of the needs we have in Kansas City. So I've been really proud to be a part of it, and it's great to be a part of the YMCA, and KMBC has also been a part of getting that donation total up to 7,000 as well. So it's been great.
David Batty talking with us this morning. David, thank you so much. A lot of good happening today right where you're at. 8:33 right now. Happening today, Missouri State Representative Brandon Ellington kicking off his 3-part series on community engagement. This first installment will start at 3 o'clock this afternoon, go until 7 o'clock tonight. It'll be at the Seven Oaks Park just off of 39th and Jackson in Kansas City. There will be a concert starting at 5 o'clock. Several speakers also on hand. Ellington says he hopes to bring Kansas Cityans together through this series. The Independence Police Department honoring the families of former military, fire, EMS, and police today. There's going to be a free lunch. A Kansas City Royals player from the 1985 World Series and KC Wolf will also be on hand. Starts at 10:45 this morning at the Central Assembly of God on West 23rd Street in Independence. First alert weather right now in Colorado, or Oklahoma rather, parts of Oklahoma cleaning up after severe weather. Parts of the state got up to 3 inches of rain overnight. That's in addition to all the rain that's been falling there all week long. Strong winds also knocking down trees, bringing down power lines. But the good news is Oklahoma gets a break from the rain for the next week or so. Pretty much the same story here, Neville. We're not going to see a whole lot of rain.
Yeah, so good news is you get a little bit of a break. The bad news is that's when the heat really settles in and all that rain that fell sinks into the ground, then evaporates right back up to the sunshine, so it gets really humid. And then you have issues when you have the heat and the humidity, heat index levels getting up at dangerous levels. Let me show you the forecast for today in more detail. For the morning, showers mainly for northern Kansas, northern Missouri, that 30% chance there. That rain really having a hard time making its way in from central Kansas, also from Iowa, trying to clip northern Missouri. Having a hard time moving in. So for the most part, mainly dry. Temperatures starting out in the upper 70s for most of us. That's where we currently sit. For the afternoon, mostly sunny. It's going to be breezy as well. Look for temperatures to heat up into the middle 90s. The feels like temperature, the heat index, more like 100 to 105. So if you are going to be out and about for quite a bit today, just make sure you're staying well hydrated. Also, don't forget about the pets. This heat's tough on them too. And then if you have evening plans, at least for the early evening, we're still going to be holding near 90 degrees, partly cloudy, a very slim chance of an isolated shower or storm, I think later in the evening for northern Missouri. So I think for the most part, many of us are going to be staying dry for today. And this is, again, heat for today, but it's going to stick around over the next couple of days. I'll have more on how long this heat's going to be here. That's coming up. Matt.
Neville, thank you. We're learning more about the victims in the terror attack in Nice. It happened at a family event celebrating Bastille Day. At least 10 children are among the 84 dead. Atika Schubert shows us how those who survived are struggling to cope with the horrors they witnessed.
It was supposed to be a family event. Fireworks, cotton candy, stuffed toys. That is why so many of the victims were children. 16-year-old Kimberly Torres was separated from her mother in the chaos. I didn't understand what was happening, she told us. I saw the truck and I went closer, and then I saw everyone lying on the ground. I started running because everyone else was running too, but I still didn't understand. She can't finish talking to us. She starts to cry. And then her mother says, she's going to be 17 soon. And she called me and she said, "Mommy, there are dead people everywhere. There are severed heads, dismembered legs, blood. Mommy, come get me," she said. So I left in a panic to look for her, and I tried to stay strong. I didn't want to cry in front of her, but I just can't hold back anymore. Her leg was injured in the stampede to escape, but she was lucky. At least 3 children remain in critical care, one still unidentified. In all, some 50 children were brought here. For many, their parents have not been found. Now, this is the promenade where the attack happened, and as you can see, people have been leaving flowers here all day. The truck actually started its attack right around the bend there, and the closest hospital to the scene is the Lonval Children's Hospital right there. Doctors told us they rushed in expecting many of the wounded to be brought in, but they had no idea just how many of those wounded would be children. These were not the wounds we saw in Brussels or Paris, says Dr. Christian. These were massive blunt trauma injuries, run over, crushed beneath the truck, something you would see in a car crash. But to have 50 children brought in from a car accident all at once is very, very rare. Dozens of children are still in this hospital, barely able to grasp the trauma that will remain with them for the rest of their lives.
Atika Schubert reporting this morning. 8:38 right now. Dozens of people gathering at the Chattanooga riverfront yesterday to remember 4 Marines and a Navy sailor killed 1 year ago.
They gave their life in a firestorm, but that firestorm did not define them.
Some of the people who attended that ceremony were at the military centers where Mohammed Abdulaziz shot and killed 5 servicemen. Others were there to remember their brothers in arms.
When I first heard it on the news, he was like, "Oh man, not another one." We're so used to mass shootings in this country, and that's unfortunate for whatever reason. But then when you find out it's your city, then it's your unit, and then it's guys you know, it just came crashing down.
Abdulaziz was killed in a shootout with police. Still to come on First News, going to college can be a challenge for many young people across the country, but one Georgia teenager proves where there's a will, there's a way.
He had an interview sitting out front in front of the restaurant, and that's all he wanted. He wanted a job.
His story of perseverance has inspired hundreds of people to also step up and help him complete his journey. We'll show you this inspiring story next on First News. Right now it's 8:39.
Locating 2 missing 15-year-old girls. Nicole Garrett is 5'3", weighs 141 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes, and she has a scar on her forehead. She may use the first name aliases of Alexis or Lexi. Next is Trinity Rathbun. She is 5'7", weighs 130 pounds with black hair and hazel eyes. Leads are very slim on her case also. So if you have any information, please call the National Center at 1-800-843-5678. Now, both teenagers are thought to be with other adults, but remember, harboring a young teenager from their family is a crime. I'm Lieutenant Kelly Bailiff. Help us bring another child home.
GoFundMe account for a homeless college student is literally growing by the minute. Bernd Peterson shows us how this biology major has already inspired hundreds of others.
DB's Pizzeria in Barnesville has a new employee who has come a long way.
He had an interview sitting out front in front of the restaurant, and that's all he wanted. He wanted a job. On the same plate, okay?
Gotcha. Fred Barley's journey started 50 miles north of here in Rockdale County.
I didn't have a ride here. My girlfriends couldn't drive me or anything like that because she didn't have a car. And I had my little brother handed me a bike.
Which Fred pedaled 6 hours to Gordon State College, where the 19-year-old pitched a tent that campus cops found.
Hello, is anybody in there? And I'm like, yeah. I was nervous to answer, but I was like, yeah. And he's like, come up with your hands where we can see him. So I zip open the tent and I'm just showing my hands like I'm good, I promise.
Barley was homeless, but also a student, returning for his second semester.
He made it clear repeatedly that he just wanted to do this on his own.
But Casey Blaney led the effort to help. Police officers paid for a hotel room. He was given a job in the pizza joint. And there's now a GoFundMe account called Success for Fred that has swelled to more than $50,000.
Now, it's like a nice relief, and I'm happy, and like I told people, thank you so much. Like, I never wanted any of this to happen.
Well, as of this morning, that account has even tripled what was in that report to $147,000. Best of luck to him in what is surely a bright future. Well, a young Texas boy not letting the recent violence prevent him from following his dream to be a police officer.
The cops, go tell them that I want to be one of them when I grow up.
6-year-old Trey Ponce walked right up to a few police officers and said he wanted to be one of them. Trey's mom says her son only sees the positive impact that officers have in their community, and this is an experience meeting those police officers that he'll never forget.
We finally got him to get out of the car, and they had talked to him and told him, you know, do you want to be a cop? They're like, oh, we got something for you. So they went to their car, got a badge out for him, and told him whenever he was ready that they'll be waiting for him at the police station.
It's awesome. It really is, especially the young ones like that are still kind of have their blinders on and all that. They don't current political climate what it is. I hope we can get the young and the brave in here and get them doing what we do.
Trey says he wants to be a police officer because he wants to save lives. 8:47 right now on your Sunday morning. The big weather story here is going to be the heat.
Yes.
The heat, and I think the heat's going to make a return
more
too,
heat.
right?
So we tried to give you some good news stories right there before I got to come in and just bring you down, talking about the heat on the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be around here really for most of the week, and unfortunately, it could even stick around into next weekend. Let me get you up to date on what we've got going on for today. So we do have a heat advisory really for much of the area, and that includes the Kansas City Metro and all areas of the South under that advisory from 1 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the evening. All of our metro counties there, so that includes you in Olathe, Overland Park, Leawood, Lee Summit, Parkville, Liberty. All those areas, you are under that advisory. Right now, here's a look from our Capitol Federal City View cam, our tower camera looking toward downtown. Just kind of a hazy sky. The farther north that you live, the more in the way of clouds that you have. The farther south that you live, the more clear sky that you have. 77 our current temperature, a south wind at 13. Look at that dew point. Remember, that's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. So when that dew point number is up in the 70s, that means it is sticky. A lot of moisture in the air, so when you step out the door, you will notice just how thick the air is. We're at 82 currently in Gardner, 76 in Olathe, 78 degrees in Shawnee, 77 for Liberty, Smithville, upper 70s in Lee Summit, Blue Springs, Independence, Leavenworth. We're all closing in on 80 degrees already. Some of us above 80 degrees like Ottawa, Butler, Clinton at 81, Sedalia at 80 degrees, Lawrence at 78, and we've got 79 for St. Joseph. First alert radar, really nothing to see over the metro. Currently, we are dry. We do have the clouds, but we're currently dry. Looking at the entire area, we do have dry conditions at the moment, but there are some showers just off to the north and just off to the north and west. Let me zoom it on out here so you can see what I'm talking about. Right along I-35 heading up into Iowa, we've got this band of thunderstorms now weakening a little bit there. And again, that's on the Iowa side of the border. Also some more showers across north central parts of Kansas. That line really has had a hard time making it towards the east, but if it can continue to gradually drift more eastward, we may pick up on some showers into Brown County near Hiawatha, also towards Donovan County, possibly over towards St. Joseph and areas northward. So really, the best chances of rain for the area today will be in our northern communities along and north of 36 Highway. Let me show you how it looks on FutureScan, taking you through the next several hours towards lunchtime. You see, as we go between now and 10 a.m., that's where the rain chances are going to primarily be from Hiawatha through St. Joseph, Chillicothe, Cameron, and areas northward. You may see a few showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. There's a look at 1 p.m. and notice how really most of the area is dry. We're going to see more of that sunshine. That will help our temperatures warm on up, or I should say heat on up into those middle 90s for today. Looking at your hourly forecast, you can see how the temperatures go up to about 91 by lunchtime, middle 90s heading through the afternoon. That south wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour. So at least we're going to have a little bit of a breeze. We'll want that because when you combine the sunshine, it's just going to make it feel even hotter. Rain chances primarily between now and about 10 or 11 o'clock. After that, we are looking mainly dry for the rest of the day, but it will be hot. It's going to be humid. You put those two things together, you get the heat index, and look at some of these numbers. By lunchtime, feels like 96. Heading through the afternoon, heat index levels 100 to 105. That's at a dangerous level. That's why I just want to continue to reiterate here. Hydration, breaks in the AC, breaks in the shade, checking on the pets, checking on those that don't have AC. That's going to be very important, not just for today, but for the next 7 days. Here are your highs this afternoon. 93 in St. Joseph, 95 in Kansas City, 94 in Belton, Sedalia 94 degrees, 96 are high temperature in Lawrence. Remember those heat index levels above the century mark, and the bad news is this heat is not just for today. It's going to stick around as we go through the entire week. High pressure is going to camp out right over the region, right across the Midwest. That's going to lock us in with the heat. So today all the way through next Saturday at least. So for the next 7 days, we're talking about high temperatures on the order of 92 on the low side to upwards of 99 degrees. I think we'll see our hottest temperatures late into the upcoming week. Middle 90s for us today and tomorrow, though. Heat index levels, it's going to be humid as well. So the heat index in the triple digits, 100 to 110, could get even hotter than that by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. So just keep that in the back of your mind if you have any plans, any camps for the kids, that we are going to see more of this dangerous heat for the upcoming week. Let's look ahead to the next 7 days. So again, those shower chances today, northern Kansas, northern Missouri, primarily over the next couple of hours. 95 degrees are high, 75 heading into our Monday morning. On Tuesday as well, we've got a 20% chance of a spot shower or thunderstorm, mainly for northern Kansas and northern Missouri. 95 are high tomorrow. 92 on Tuesday. Then look at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. High temperatures in the upper 90s, low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s.
Well, you can say it again, Neville. It's going to be hot.
It's just, yeah, it's going to be hot.
Sound like a broken record, and it will probably sound like a broken record for the next week at least.
Yeah, you know, by Thursday or Friday this upcoming week, you're going to be tired of me saying that. But yeah, it is going to be hot. We do have some clouds trying to help us out, trying to keep us a little bit cooler. Rain mainly on the Iowa side of the Missouri border, the Missouri-Iowa border. Also some showers trying to come in from central Kansas. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Otherwise, for today, many of us, we're going to see more of that sunshine this afternoon. Look for a high temperature right around 95 degrees. 95 again tomorrow. 92 on Tuesday. Slight chances of showers and storms, but those will mainly be confined to northern Kansas and northern Missouri. And then look at the 7-day forecast. 97 degrees are high on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, closing in on the century mark. Lows only in the mid to upper 70s. Heat index levels up near 105 to 110. So make sure you stay hydrated and stay safe.
That picture with that pool in the background, I think a lot of people probably already doing that because it's already hot outside.
Yes, find some water to get into because it's going to be really hot.
Make sure you drink the water too. Not the pool water, but other water because you need to stay hydrated. Okay. KMBC 9 News bringing you complete coverage of the convention starting tomorrow, the Republican National Convention. Much more on that on our news at 5 o'clock tonight. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Sunday morning. Go make it a great Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.